Hello class 2H. So today in maths we're going to start the work we need to prepare for beginning to learn about multiplication. So the first part when we're learning about multiplication is being able to understand about different groups. Today we are going to make and sort equal groups. First though, we're going to do a vocabulary check. This might sound like a very simple and ordinary word, but it is a very important mathematical word. And that's right, the word is equal. It has a very specific meaning. Do you know what it means? I'm sure you do. Yes, it means the same. So in maths, when we are talking about equal, it means two things or more than two things are exactly the same. There is a special symbol for equals in maths. Can you remember what it is? Can you remember what it looks like? Yes, well remembered. This is the equal symbol. It's very important. So today we are investigating equal or the same. Let's start by looking at these groups of flowers. These flowers are in groups. How many groups can you see? Have a look. Have you counted them? There are 8 groups. Now, my question to you is, are they equal groups or not? Have a think. And tell me, or tell yourself, how do you know that they're equal? Have we got equal groups or not? Well, I've looked at all the groups and I can see that each group has exactly 2 flowers. They're all the same as each other. So they are equal, they are the same. All right, let's take another look at another set of groups. These are groups of balloons. Are these groups equal? Have a very careful look. I can see one that looks a bit different to the rest. It's down here. Did you see it? Well, that means they're not equal. All of those groups are not equal to each other. So when a group is not equal, we say that they are unequal. The mathematical term is unequal. It's another important word. All right. Now, let's look here. Here we have 4 groups. Can you count them? Let's count them together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 groups. And there are 3 pencils in each group. Let's have a quick look to make sure all 3 have the same. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So is this group equal or unequal? Or are these groups, sorry, not this group, are these groups equal or unequal? You are correct, they are equal. We've checked, haven't we? We've gone and checked that each group has exactly the same amount of pencils as each other. Each group is the same. We can write it like this, 4 groups of 3. When you see the words 4 groups of 3, that's the same as seeing an image with 4 groups that have 3 pencils in it. So we've now learned that we can both write it or draw it or represent it. If we had the pencils physically, we'd be representing it. So there's always 3 ways to do these things, isn't there? All right. So we go on to the next slide. I hope I can do this. Oh, I can. We've got cats now, okay? I'm going to try and share all of these cats between the 5 circles, and I'm going to see, can I share them equally or not? Okay, so watch me. I'm going to be really careful, and I'm going to start by putting 1 cat into each group. Okay, I'm not filling 1 up first. I'm being really systematic. All right, okay, so I'm going to put 1 in. Next, I'm going to put 2 in. All right, each group has now got 2 cats. So currently, these groups are equal. They all have the same amount of cats. Let's see if I can get a 3rd cat into each group. Let's have a look. Oh, excellent, we can. I now have 5 equal groups, each with 3 cats in it. They're currently equal. Unfortunately, there's one cat left, and I have to put it in because I'm sharing out the cats. Do we now have equal groups, boys and girls? No, you're correct. They're not equal. They are unequal because the first group has 4 cats and the other groups all have 3 cats in them. So we have a set of unequal groups. So boys and girls, it's our first step to multiplication. It's the building blocks, and we need to make sure our blocks are solid before we move on in the next few days and weeks to really getting to grips with multiplication. So your task today, you're going to decide how you're going to learn. You're either going to build, you're going to draw, or you're going to write. Okay, so let's have a look at your challenges. If you decide to build, you can use different objects in your house and physically arrange them into equal groups. If you were Jack from our story earlier, you might have telescopes lying around, or anchors, or ship wheels, and you might arrange them into equal groups. You probably don't have these things in your house. You might have pasta shells, you might have straws, you might have Lego cubes. Oh my goodness, I bet you could be so imaginative and come up with loads of ways. I wonder if Evan can group his cats. Does he have an equal number of cats? I'm not sure. I don't think the cats would sit still long enough. So maybe that's not a great idea. If you choose to build, you're going to find objects from around your house and arrange them into equal groups. I wonder how big an equal set of groups you could make. If you had rice grains, you could make big groups that were equal. They must be absolutely equal. All right. If you challenge yourself to do the draw way of learning today, you can copy out this table and you can continue to draw the equal groups. I started it for you, but it's not finished, all right? So you must draw 3 objects in each of these squares for it to be equal the whole way across. How many do you need to draw into each of these squares for it to be equal the whole way across on these ones? You don't need to continue drawing the exact same images I've drawn if they're tricky to draw. It just must be the exact same number, okay? All right. And if you decide to write, this is a challenge, okay? I want you to come up with the different ways to write down how you can make the telescopes into equal groups. For example, I have written and drawn 2 groups of 8. You can see that there are 16 telescopes that I have divided into 2 equal groups of 8. I want you to come up with as many different ways to sort these 16 telescopes into equal groups. So boys and girls, whichever challenge you choose, I hope you enjoy it. And I want you to take some photos and post them onto Seesaw.